Over 10 minutes had passed. The sound of the students leaving the gym and making their way to the nurse's office rang throughout the hall. Genocide Jack had continued to dodge Sakura's attacks with her tricky movements, but when Byakuya blurted out, "Enough already, you irritating pervert!" Oh, okay, he's talking to, Sho, makes sense. "You irritating pervert!" Genocide Jack stopped in her tracks. Oh, because she likes him? Right. "Oh my! Getting chewed out by, getting chewed out by my bespected Byakuya is making my masochistic side get all tingly. They say the line between sadism and masochism is paper thin, but in my case it's more like a Venn diagram. Words can't explain these hot waves of passion squirming from the top of my head to the tips of my toes." As she rambled incoherently about Byakuya, the other students tied her up with a microphone cable from the gym and locked her in a room. Wow, okay, so, well, Byakuya had her attention. Okay. Half the students stayed behind to keep an eye on her, while the rest left to search the grounds of the school. As soon as the door to the nurse's office opened, Kyoko saw a non-functioning Monokuma with a hole in its chest and the remnants of a surveillance camera. It wasn't just the nurse's office, though. On their way there, the students had seen several destroyed surveillance cameras and scattered Monokuma bodies. Oh man, Makuro being a badass. This was a clear violation of school regulations, but if Makuro was allied with Monokuma, those regulations wouldn't apply to her anyway. The Monokuma inside the gym was no longer moving, and the students had lost contact with the hacker, Bashiki Madare, who isn't a real thing. So the students assumed that Madare had taken control of a different Monokuma and went after Makuro on his own. With that in mind, Kyoko turned and looked inside the nurse's office once again. It was unusually quiet, the beds were empty, but Kyoko could see from the bloodstains that someone had been resting there recently. Tch, looks like they're already gone. Who says this? Oh. Tch, looks like they're already gone. Fuck! Mondo remarked, but as he was about to leave, Kyoko spoke up behind him. Oh, she's gonna... Is this her first line? It might be. She's gonna start getting all genius on them. "I'm gonna stay here with Chihiro and search for clues." Ooh, okay, you and Chihiro, interesting. Maybe she's gonna try and get Chihiro's opinion on the whole hacker thing. Because Chihiro would know about that stuff too, I think. "Huh?" asked Chihiro, her timid eyes widening. "Clues?" Kyoko continued to speak in a calm tone of voice. "Yes, there may be some clues in these Monokuma remains. I figured you'd be the best candidate for investigating machinery." Yep. Not quite what I was getting at, but still, sort of similar. Sakura spoke up. "Isn't that dangerous?" Since Sakura could clearly hold her own in a fight with Makuro, she had joined the other students in searching the school grounds. Kyoko shook her head and replied, "I'm sorry to say this, but if things get out of hand, Chihiro and I will just be in your way. I think it's better if we search for clues here instead of doing nothing. Besides, we might be able to use Monokuma's parts to detect any radio broadcasts from the outside world." You certainly have a point. Understood. We'll be exploring this floor for a while. Please shout for us if anything happens. Sakura left the nurse's office. Oh boy, this is getting good. How'd you destroy Monokuma like this? As Chihiro cautiously stood over Monokuma's remains, Kyoko started searching through the room. She zeroed in on one of the beds and began studying it intently. A moment later, Kyoko was satisfied with what she found, and uttered a small sigh before she spoke. "Chihiro, let me apologize to you in advance." "Huh?" "I dragged you into this gamble of mine, so if anything happens, run out into the hallway and call for help." "Oh? Has Kyoko got a sneaky plan?" "What does that mean?" But instead of answering Chihiro's question, Kyoko started talking to one of the empty beds. "Oh?" "Let me say this first. I'm prepared to hear your story. No matter how ridiculous it may sound, I promise not to decide if it's a lie or truth till after I've listened to it in its entirety." "Oh." Okay. So they're still there. They're hiding. Chihiro looked confused. She didn't understand what Kyoko meant at all. The ultimate question, detective lowered her eyes and turned to the ultimate programmer to make a request. "Chihiro, does your laptop have a voice recording function, and do you also have a microphone?" "Huh? Yeah." "I want you to use that to record everything we're about to hear." "But there's no one here." As Chihiro wondered to herself, she began connecting Monokuma's parts so her laptop to her laptop and turned on the record function. "I'm sure we'll pick up every sound in this room now," said Chihiro nervously. Satisfied, Kyoko nodded and once again started talking to the empty bed. "So, what were you going to do if I told everyone that I'd found Makoto?" When she heard Kyoko say that, Chihiro looked back at her and was surprised by what she saw. At that moment, the Ultimate Programmer was kneeling on the floor next to Monokuma's remains. From that position, she was able to see it. Of all the beds in the nurse's office, there was one bed in particular that could be seen from the entrance. Oh? Underneath that bed lay a limp Makoto. Oh, shit! A blood pack was hidden next to the bed and slowly providing Makoto with a transfusion. The contents of the blood pack were clear. Rather than blood, it seemed to be some kind of saline solution used in emergency hydration. Though it wouldn't be as effective as an actual blood transfusion, it was enough to keep him from going into shock. Though that was the extent of Chihiro's medical knowledge. She was already surprised that Makoto had been in the nurse's office the whole time. Not only that, but Kyoko wasn't talking to the bed that Makoto was under, which sent chills to Chihiro's body. However, there was nobody under the bed that Kyoko was facing. But the moment Chihiro noticed that, a voice rang out from underneath it. "Oh?" As soon as everyone's attention was focused on Makoto, I was planning to take advantage of that opportunity to take someone hostage. "Oh. Oh, I see. I get it. Okay, this is cool. Kyoko's smart, Makuro's smart, so that's what's going to happen." So what was happening was, when Kyoko noticed Makoto almost instantly, and he wasn't in hiding. I mean, he was hiding, but he was like hiding in kind of plain sight, like you could notice. Makuro was in a much more hidden position. So the idea is, as soon as somebody noticed Makoto and went over to it, Makuro was going to take him hostage or whatever. But that's why Kyoko was like, "Everybody leave it to me, get out of here," because she saw him probably. As Chihiro cautiously lowered her head until it was nearly touching the floor, she was able to make out who was talking. Surprisingly, the person hiding there was clinging to the frame of the bed. Like a good assassin-type person would. Ninja. Yeah, like a ninja clinging to the ceiling. Presumably, if someone had glanced under the bed quickly, they wouldn't have noticed anybody was there. Though Chihiro had no idea how the person was able to hide under the bed for so long, she could at least understand their strength was beyond normal human levels. There was no question that the person hiding under the bed was Makuro Ikasaba. "But you pretended not to notice. Why?" Makuro's voice was as cold as ice, but Kyoko didn't even flinch as she responded. "Because I wanted to hear your side of the story. I knew you were hiding under that bed. Compared to the others, the frame was slightly more pronounced. That detective instinct at work." Chihiro tried comparing the beds to see if this was true, but she couldn't tell the difference at all. Only Kyoko's natural observation skills could let her see something like that. Makuro seemed to have come to a similar conclusion and appeared from under the bed without making a sound. Her face was stoic and cold. Compared to the bomb inside Monokuma, Chihiro thought she was even more terrifying. However, Makuro ignored Chihiro and shifted her gaze at Kyoko. She leaned against a wall and let her arms fall to her sides as she threw out another question. Leaning against the wall like a badass. "Why do you want to hear what I have to say?" Kyoko thought about this simple question for a while, as if she were searching within her own heart for the answer. "If I have to provide an answer, it's because I wish to remain neutral." Kyoko quietly looked down. "I'm currently missing most of my memories. I don't know who I am or what talent I had to be accepted into this school." She could hear Chihiro gasp behind her, but Kyoko didn't mind and continued. "But even so, I believe I should listen to what you have to say. Regardless of whether you're good or evil, I must hear all the facts in order to know the truth. Good and evil doesn't matter. I'll come to a conclusion based on what I see and hear. I think that's the methodology that's been instilled in me." "I see. I completely forgot you were like that, Kyoko." Because yeah, Makuro would know. Makuro would know all about Kyoko. "But before I listen to what you have to say, I'd like to ask you one question first. Who am I?" "What is it?" Makuro's reply was completely emotionless. Kyoko presented her question as if she were asking of herself as well. "Oh? What was my talent that allowed me to attend this academy?" The answer to that question was simple. "Kyoko, you're the ultimate detective." That answer marked a turning point for both girls. "Thank you. I have a better understanding of the situation now." Kyoko slowly raised her head and presented a theory. If my memory loss wasn't just a coincidence, then you know your group has the ability to erase people's memories. With that in mind, if we take into consideration the situation that unfolded into the gym earlier, I can only come to one possibility. Possibility? Yes. What you said to Byakuya when he thought you were taking Toko hostage. You claimed that they met 2 years ago. It's possible that actually might be true. The fact that Makoto called out Makuro's name. The things that Makuro confirmed and denied. Genocide Jack's outlandish claims. These key factors that Kyoko noted using her special observation skills were converging in her mind to form one answer. It's possible that Byakuya and Toko's memories were also erased, like mine, but I don't think their circumstances are quite the same as mine. But if our memories can be controlled so freely, it calls into question whether the day Monokuma appeared was really the same day we entered the academy. Like you said, it's possible that we've known Toko Fukawa for the last 2 years, which calls into question this so-called hacker, because he said that, the day you entered, you were hit with sleeping gas, which is untrue. What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Chihiro cried, still working on connecting her laptop to Monokuma's parts. Kyoko continued, speaking to both Chihiro and Makuro. We thought we were knocked unconscious with sleeping gas the moment we arrived at the school. But it's possible that we were simply made to think that's what happened. For example, we've already spent the last 2 years at Host B Academy and our memories of that time were completely erased. It's even possible that we aren't even ultimates at all, just random people who've been implanted with 16 years worth of false memories. Wow. Though Kyoko's claim sounded ridiculous, her face was completely serious. She looked up at Makuro once again. It's kind of funny, these two stoic people going at it. Honestly, though, I want to see more of the other characters. We got plenty of Kyoko in the main game. Let's see a bit of some fresh talent. I don't know. Anyways, she looked at Makuro once again. I mean, this makes sense, but I'd still like to see something, different. Which means I'm considering the possibility that your crazy story is actually the truth. Kyoko's declaration filled the room with silence, but she didn't let that silence overwhelm her. Kyoko cut through it with her own words. Without evidence, all I can do is make hypotheses. That's why I want to hear what you have to say, Makuro. I have no intention of blindly believing what you're going to say. Of what that self-proclaimed hacker who took over Monokuma said. Yeah. She paused and lowered her eyes again, then declared with powerful determination. Even so, I intend to come to a conclusion as fairly and objectively as I can. Objection! But I can only do that if you trust me and tell me the truth. Kyoko's conviction was clear from her voice. Makuro's eyes narrowed slightly, and a tapestry of emotions flashed across her face as she looked toward Kyoko. Thinking, can I trust her? But when she opened her mouth, her expression and voice were completely devoid of emotion. That's right, I completely forgot you were like that. Makuro repeated this to herself softly, then faced Kyoko and declared, that must be why Junko took care to erase more of your memories compared to the others. Very well, I'll tell you everything. And after Makuro placed Makoto back onto the bed, she began to mechanically tell a story. The story of a girl who wanted to fill the world with despair, a girl who only felt true happiness when she was filled with despair herself. A plan for despair that began 2 years ago, or perhaps even earlier than that. How the world was currently ruled by despair itself. Makuro provided a brief summary of everything she knew about the plan. That's why it sounded even more outrageous than Kyoko had expected. And through her story, Kyoko was able to learn the truth about herself. Who she is and why she came to the academy. The fate of the academy's real headmaster, which is her father. Kyoko's father, yeah. As she listened to Makuro's story, Kyoko remained silent the whole time. Her face went blank when she learned her father had died. Perhaps her memory loss and the absurdity of the situation helped lessen the impact somewhat. But there was no guarantee Kyoko would ever believe her story. After Makuro finished speaking, Kyoko stayed silent. With her unrivaled mental prowess, she was able to listen to Makuro's story without interrupting her or dismissing it as nonsense. Makuro continued, you don't have to believe me. After all, any pictures that could prove my story are with Junko. All I can do is talk. After she said that, Makuro silently walked toward the entrance to the nurse's office. When she arrived at the door, she spoke again without looking back. But even if you don't believe me, you still listen to everything I had to say. So, Kyoko, Chihiro, thank you. After apologizing in such a strange tone of voice, she turned to the bed where Makoto lay, breathing weakly. Make sure Makoto stays rested. When he wakes up, make sure you give him some sort of, some sports drinks. Some sorts of drinks? Some sports drinks from the dining hall or supply room to drink. Oh, you're gonna go off to confront Junko alone? Is that it? Please. Of course, but what are you gonna do now? Asked Kyoko. Makuro straightened herself up. Despair. Huh? I need to make Junko feel despair. Makuro continued mumbling to herself as she opened the door. There's nothing else I can do. No, there is something you can do. Oh? Says Kyoko. Makuro stopped walking as Kyoko spoke firmly. Regardless of whether Monokuma is really Junko Inoshima or Bishiki Madare, if you're dealing with him, he won't be able to lay a finger on Makoto. I guess so. I don't fully trust you, but if you're really concerned for Makoto's life, I'm willing to work with you. Okay, I don't know who's talking now. That could have been either one. Unlike Bishiki, who's probably abandoned him already. Oh, okay, so this is Kyoko talking. Right? I'm sorry. I don't really work well with others. Makuro looked away, then bowed her head as she left the nurse's office. But, I'll do my best. The doors closed and Makuro was gone. I'm sorry for involving something so dangerous, Chihiro. As she continued to organize the vast amount of information that Makuro gave her, Kyoko turned to Chihiro, who was still working on Monokuma. As she trembled with fear, Chihiro slowly looked back at Kyoko. Kyoko? About what Makuro said just now. Chihiro's face turned pale as she struggled with her words, and Kyoko tried to calm her down. Him down. We can't determine if anything she told us was true or not. There's no need to be afraid. But Chihiro shook her head and returned to looking at her laptop. I think she's telling the truth. What are you basing this on? Well, it looks like Monokuma is really being controlled from the outside. Wait, what? No, he's not being controlled from the outside. What are you talking about? Part of Monokuma's system had been connected to Chihiro's laptop, and she was analyzing the data within its control system. And it was then that the Ultimate Programmer noticed something unusual about it. This control program, I thought it would be another year before the system became fully operational. Chihiro started trembling so much that she was unable to continue speaking. We can't confirm that, said Kyoko, proposing another possibility to avoid jumping to conclusions. Wait, what? It looks like Monokuma is really being controlled from the outside. No! What? If you think she's telling the truth, then that means you think the Ultimate Hacker doesn't exist, but you're saying he is being controlled from the outside? Is that a typo? It has to be. It's possible that a similar program was being developed in secret. But Chihiro adamantly shook her head and said, no, that's not it. It just looks really familiar to me. Kyoko looked over Chihiro's trembling shoulders to appear at the screen. That's when she noticed. This program. Chihiro, did you create this? Oh! So Chihiro... Holy shit! Chihiro created the Monokuma program? Or at least part of it? All the Ultimate Programmer could do was nod weakly. What? So she created the base of the Monokuma program? And then Junko continued it? I guess? First floor main hall. Makuro continued moving forward, and was fortunate enough to not encounter Sakura or Mondo. With no interference from anyone, she made her way to a hall as large as the gym, and stood before the sealed main entrance. Suddenly, Monokuma popped out from the shadows to block her path. Within this hall that resembled a nuclear bomb shelter, replete with all manner of heavy weaponry, Monokuma's silhouette was conspicuously out of place here. Conspicuously. His laughter rang throughout the room as he wiggled his body from side to side. Woohoo! What were you doing at the nurse's office? Did you eliminate your rival for Makoto's affections? Or did you help play matchmaker instead? Either way, don't you think it's kind of adorable to put Makoto and Kyoko in this kind of situation together? If this were a suspense film, those two would be the last couple standing. They kind of are in the main game. But if this was a horror film, they'd just die anyway. The killer was alive all along. Splat goes the blood, plop goes the meat. I'm a huge fan of endings where the characters think they're gonna live, but they're really headed to a final destination. Wait, what the hell is a tenation? What does that even mean? Despite Monokuma's angry complaints, Makuro remained undisturbed. She continued to stare ice daggers at Monokuma, as if she was waiting for him to finish speaking. Woohoo! Well, anyway, I'm just so sad right now. A regulation-breaking delinquent is disrupting the harmony of this peaceful academy. I can't even keep one of my students from running wild, then say goodbye to your incompetent headmaster. I'm gonna use Monokuma Evolution and become a big Magnum headmaster and mold you into a decent student. As soon as he said that, Monokuma extended his claws and waddled toward Makuro. So if I'm gonna mold you, then I'm gonna kill you first! Right as he finished speaking, Monokuma suddenly charged at Makuro like a spiked volleyball. Makuro was faster and dodged Monokuma's attack. She jumped back, keeping her distance from Monokuma just in case his claws could extend even longer. Just then, a shadowy figure appeared next to her. Makuro twisted her body to its limits and just narrowly evaded the figure's attack. Oh, when she landed on the floor, she immediately saw... Pooh-hoo! So what does the immortal killer want anyway? What? Are you gonna tell the others the truth and escape with them? Even though you know what the outside world is like right now? Two Monokumas were speaking to Makuro in unison. Oh, okay, there's a second Monokuma. Okay, gotcha. Two Monokumas were speaking to Makuro in unison. Honestly, I don't mind if you do that. I can just imagine the look on everyone's face when they discover the truth. It fills me with such heart-throbbing excitement. The two Monokumas continued to speak in stereo sound. You said you'd destroy my plans, but there's no happy ending waiting for you, no matter which route you take. And you only have yourself to blame for that. Don't tell me you thought they'd be grateful to you. Even if you guys escape here, do you think they'll still forgive you when they get a whiff of the nasty air outside? Some of them might prefer to stay in the school, and some of them might resent you for being kind and showing them the truth. But then again, this is all your fault anyway, so it doesn't really matter what they think of you. Monokuma made a little mistake. Despite facing down two Monokumas, Makuro's expression didn't waver. She understood that controlling two Monokumas simultaneously was a piece of cake for Junko. Makuro drew an arm-length metal bar from seemingly nowhere and readied herself. It was the remnant of the IV stand from the nurse's office, sharpened into a pointed weapon. With her weapon in hand, Makuro responded in a cold, mechanical tone. That's fine, I'm already used to that. None of the fear she felt that when Monokuma suggested that Makoto would blame her appeared in her face. Her path was clear to her now, and she calmly issued her demand to Monokuma. Junko, open the gates. The shock of such a straightforward demand left both Monokumas momentarily speechless, but soon they replied, Huh? Why? So we can all leave together. Another straightforward answer. Both Monokumas faced each other and began gesturing as if they were whispering to one another. That'd be funny. Makuro knew their movements were intended to mock her. Unmoved, she continued to speak to Junko directly. I think they'll understand if I show them the outside world. And then they'll stop doubting Makoto. You always find new ways to disappoint me, Makuro. Did you forget why the school has an air filtration system? It's true that the air outside is polluted, but I don't think it'll kill us immediately. Wait, oh, that's, god damn it. It's true that the air outside is polluted. I don't think it'll kill us immediately. Besides, it's better than being trapped in the school and forced to kill each other. Wow, Junko's gonna be mad/happy when she hears that. How can you be sure the others will go along with you? You know what I mean, right? Before the former headmaster got turned to space dust, he interviewed the others and they all agreed they wanted to stay in the school. That was before the memories had even been erased. Do you really want to betray their wishes? Makuro blinked and slowly stepped forward. I don't really care about their feelings. I'm just trying to do the nice thing. Fuck the feelings. Huh? You're all I need, Junko. Is this a ploy or is this being real? I'm not even sure now with Makuro. So don't worry. I'm always watching out for you. I'm gonna make sure you feel despair. I'm gonna make Makoto and the others happy. If you want to revel in your own despair that badly, then I'll trust the hope Makoto gave me and take my chances with them instead of you. Oh boy. Is Junko gonna like that or hate that or both? Makuro's brief but powerful words caused the Monokuma to turn and talk to each other again. Ooh my, this doesn't look good at all, Monokuma, eh? This child doesn't realize her own hypocrisy. She's so disappointing that she's starting to reach critical mass, right, Monokuma B? The two Monokumas looked at Makuro, who seemed ready to destroy them, and said, "What do you think, Monokuma C?" Makuro was taken aback by the question. But her instincts suddenly kicked in and she immediately dodged away. At that moment, a third Monokuma, claws extended, passed by where her head had been previously. Wow. This new Monokuma unit landed with several spins and faced Makuro, who had clung to the remains of a surveillance camera, still attached to the ceiling. Oh wow, that's funny to think of. I agree with you both, A and B! The three Monokumas lined themselves up. For the students locked inside the academy, this sight would have been akin to a nightmare. Right on! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I love how there's multiple quotations. The three units began speaking in perfect harmony as their 6 eyes looked up at Makuro. Suddenly, they each jumped away in 3 separate directions and kicked off one of the walls. Oh! Ninja battle! The paths of each unit's triangular attacks all converged on a single point, Makuro, who was still clinging to the ceiling. She was surrounded by razor-sharp, flaws? Kind of. Claws coming at her from different directions. But this situation wasn't even a nightmare to Makuro. Compared to the time she fended off 3 assassins who had invaded her camp one night back when she was still a member of Fenrir, this was nothing. This thought crossed Makuro's mind as she dangled from the ceiling with one hand and thrashed her limbs around like a tornado. Intercepted by this move, the Monokumas fell to the floor with a loud crash. Makuro landed on the ground and chased after one of them, brandishing her metal bar. Suddenly, she stopped moving and took a huge leap back. One of the Monokumas exploded with a deafening roar. He had detonated the bomb inside of himself in an attempt to take Makuro down with him. But thanks to her honed battlefield instincts, Makuro managed to avoid the explosion. She looked toward the hallway, expecting the explosion to have attracted the attention of Sakura and others. But she didn't hear any footsteps approaching. Monokuma's voice rang from within the dense smoke. I killed them all! Oh, wait, what? Or maybe he did do something. Oh, you don't have to worry. I already told the other students to assemble at the cafeteria. Oh, fuck you. They were eager to follow my orders after I told them I disalarmed the poison gas, and that a special police unit was coming to get them. Oh, shit. I'm pretty sure Kyoko and the others are all in the cafeteria by now. Ooh, but they could learn the truth now if that's the case. So maybe we're gonna work together with hope to defeat you? I'm sure Makoto is with them too! I doubt Sakura will get too rough with him, but I'm sure Byakuya will torture Makoto once he wakes up. I can just imagine him rubbing salt or pouring soy sauce in his open wounds. Man, I'm getting all hot and bothered right now. Wahaha! As she listened to Monokuma's overlapping voices, Makuro tilted her head slightly and asked, I'm pretty sure they're gonna find out that you lied about that special police unit. Are you really okay with that? No worries. Once I've dealt with you, I don't care at all if they find out I was lying. Boo! You still don't get it? You're such a disappointment! Oh, there's 4 now. It suddenly dawned on Makuro. There's 4. Not the reason why Monokuma didn't care if the students found out he lied. That there was 4? But rather that the voices of the Monokumas in the smoke are gradually increasing in number. Oh wait, no, there's 5 now. Oh shit. Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo! Okay, how many things are there now? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Is there 10 now? I think I see 10. Something like that. As the smoke started to clear, the shadows of 3 Monokumas appeared. The one that exploded couldn't have revived, so a new one must have come to take his place. So 11 total? But there's no way Makuro only heard 3 Monokuma talking just now. As if to prove her hearing had been accurate, Monokumas suddenly made their move. The 3 Monokumas bent over and began twirling their upper bodies. From behind them, new Monokumas emerged, like afterimage brought to life. Like out of Dragon Ball! This second row Monokumas mimicked the earlier ones. Oh, God, hiccups. Not now. The earlier ones with only one frame of delay, revealing even more Monokuma behind them. Eventually, Makuro realized that there were 3 rows containing 10 Monokuma each. Oh, 3 rows containing 10 each. Holy shit, so 30. Woohoo! Did you know this is called a circle dance? Now they don't even have those kind of, what is it? What's they called again? Quotation marks. They don't even have quotation marks anymore. They have the fancy brackets to show there's a lot of them, I guess. Monokuma's 30 voices spoke in perfect harmony as they divulged information that had nothing to do with the current situation. Makuro already knew that multiple Monokumas were positioned throughout the academy, but only Junko knew how many Monokumas actually existed. Makuro had no way of knowing if these 30 Monokumas were part of a larger contingent, or if that was all of them. The flock of two-toned teddy bears continued to twirl around. Makuro felt like she was being bombarded with hypnotic images. How hard is that to say? Faced with this abnormal sight, the ultimate soldier remained calm and maintained her focus. She was nothing like the girl who had panicked earlier in the gym when Makoto was impaled. As she stood before 30 emissaries of despair, she slowed her breathing and allowed her heart rate to accelerate. It was instinct, not fear or panic, that sent her blood racing throughout her body, speeding up the reaction time of her cells. As her senses sharpened, the Monokumas began speaking to her again. "Don't worry, I'll make sure Makoto doesn't die." "Oh? As long as everyone lives, I can reset their memories as many times as I want." Woohoo! That's right! All your efforts, hope, dreams, and determination are going right in the garbage heap. Oh, okay. So you're not gonna kill everybody, you're gonna reset them, I guess, and just have Makuro not part of the plan? The Monokumas took turns speaking in groups of 10. As if the mastermind controlling the Monokumas wanted to show off her ability to manipulate them. That does sound like Junko. However, the ultimate soldier knew what the true purpose behind all this was. Oh? She strained her ears to their limit and noticed a certain sound hidden among the Monokuma's voices. Oh. Monokuma's face remained perfectly still as she kicked off the floor. Makuro's face! Sorry, not Monokuma. The moment she moved to the side, a roaring sound shook at the entrance hall. Wait a second. Oh, so that's the purpose behind the bomb. That's the purpose behind all the Monokumas talking at once. True, yeah, she strained her ears to their limit and noticed a certain sound. The moment she moved to the side, a roaring sound shook the entrance hall. The ceiling-mounted turrets in front of the gate, oh, not a bomb, but close enough, started raining bullets down on Makuro. The Monokumas were just the mastermind's decoy while she tried to blow her away. As if further trapping her, the Monokumas charged at Makuro through the storm of bullets. Makuro guessed that the mastermind programmed their movements in advance so they wouldn't get hit by a single bullet. She ran for the gates, evading waves of bullets and claws every step of the way, programming 30 Monokumas in 2 turrets while also predicting Makuro's escape route. This would be considered impossible for anyone, but Makuro knew it was possible for Junko because Junko knew Makuro very well. As all to despair, she possessed despair-inducing abilities that surpassed the capacities of any normal human, of course, that's all it is. Her display of power was only for filling Makuro with despair. Despair. The scene playing out in front of Makuro was brimming with despair. The adorably deadly Monokumas laughed and danced like reapers as bullets whizzed through the air. It was despair to the point of absurdity, and it was all for Makuro. Aww! But in the presence of such despair, Makuro felt a strange sense of serenity. For me? Junko's doing all this for me? Wow. That's great. I have to pee.